Dear ones, before we move to March, it is important to recognize the time, the portal that you are in right now with the 2s of February. And today you are in the middle of a very important portal with February 20th to February 22nd. And for those of you that are sensitive, you will be feeling this portal quite intensely. And as I mentioned in last month's forecast, that February is frequency dependent. So for those of you who are maintaining a space of joy and love, this portal will be extremely expansive and beautiful for you. For those of you who are maintaining a frequency of fear or constriction, this can be a rough ride. And to acknowledge that even if you are doing your best to maintain a frequency of joy and love, if there are any unintegrated shadow aspects of you, these may come to the surface at this time. And so do your best, dear ones, to be gentle with yourself, to be loving with yourself, to not judge yourself too harshly, but to find ways to nourish and nurture yourselves, to find ways to work with grounding so that you can receive these portal energies as easily and gracefully as possible. There is a substantial opening at this time for deeper activation of your spiritual gifts and talents. And so if this is something that you want, you can open yourselves to deeper activations. And you can enroll your I Am Presence and your higher selves to help direct this process. As activations can be fun, but they can also be somewhat jolting to your reality, as they may change a few things in your life trajectory should you embrace your deeper gifts and talents. Dear ones, March will be multi-layered with a variety of energies and frequencies. There will be continued perceived chaos within the public arena, meaning government and financial systems and old paradigm structures of this nature. Simply allow it, dear ones. Allow it to occur, allow it to unfold, and stay focused on what you desire, what you are creating. Stay focused on cultivating your soul essence and the frequencies that you want to experience in your life. Even if no one around you or no one in your life shares these desires, it is of utmost importance that you stay true to yourself. And so continue to work with cultivating your soul essence and energy within your being. Stay focused on what you are creating, whether it is etherically or in the physical. Stay disciplined, dear ones, in your spiritual practices so that you can ride through the energies of March with greater ease. Stay grounded, dear ones. Stay anchored in your body. There will be many energetic attempts to dislodge you from your body, to separate soul from human. These attempts have already begun, but there will be some heightening of these attempts to harvest soul energy, to disempower you. I will speak of some heavier things, dear ones, and I invite you not to go into fear about this, but to understand that this is happening. Regarding attempts to harvest soul energy, this has been happening with the shots. In some circumstances, not every batch, not every shot that has been created has these energy signatures, but some are disruptive to the DNA because they are meant to co-opt your soul, or at the very least, some of your soul energy by altering DNA, by changing cellular structure and your cellular matrix. If you have had the shots, this can be reversed to some degree. There is always a solution, dear ones. There is always a remedy. So again, it is not for you to go into fear about this, but to simply have awareness that these types of shenanigans are going on for humanity. DNA harvesting is very real. Soul energy harvesting is very real. The reason I am sharing this is because there will be further attempts in March to harvest more soul energy from humanity. This channel is asking what can be done, how can this be reversed, etc. For those of you who have not received any shots, you can continue to work with grounding, channeling and flowing the frequencies, integrating the frequencies of the great central sun and beyond, the galactic core, source frequencies, Christed light frequencies, etc. It is very important that you continue to do this spiritual work, those of you who have been doing this, and I thank you, dear ones. For those of you who have received the shots, you can do this as well. And you also need to reclaim your soul energy. And this can be done with your intention, as well as removing and discharging parasitic energies that have attached to you or attempted to attach to you. This is somewhat involved, dear ones, so I will not go into this completely in this transmission. But you can start with your intention to discharge these parasites from your being and to state out loud that you are reclaiming your soul and that no entity or energy can co-opt your soul for their use. It is under your stewardship and yours alone. There is, dear ones, right now a battle occurring between soul and I will do my best to explain through this channel. It is not that soul is battling. It is not that souls are battling. It is that the beings that protect are battling to keep away those who would harvest soul energy. So it is very important, whether you have received shots or not, to reclaim your soul energy and to be very disciplined and serious about maintaining your grounding, maintaining your balance, maintaining your energy, your frequency, so that you cannot be harvested in any way. And again, dear ones, I do not share this to plant any seeds of fear, but to have you understand that you can be empowered in this way, that it is up to you whether or not you are harvested, and you can say, no, I do not consent. I reclaim my sovereignty of my soul essence. I reclaim my sovereignty of my human experience. I reclaim my sovereignty of my soul. And I exit the karmic matrix. You can do all of these things, dear ones. So again, I bring all of these things up because March will be an amplification of this spiritual battle. And you can very easily move through those energies by reclaiming and maintaining your sovereignty at the soul level, at the human level. The sovereignty of your emotional bodies, your mental bodies. All of these are under your jurisdiction, dear ones. But you must reclaim your sovereignty of all of these aspects of yourselves so that they cannot be used by any dark or shadow forces.
About that soul harvesting, is that part of it that they do fear mongering, what they put out on the mainstream and so, especially about that war, supposedly going war on with Ukraine?
Yes, dear one, this is very much part of it, because the way they operate is to create a numbing of humanity through fear. When humans are in fear, they are numb to their higher aspects, and they do not as quickly claim their sovereignty of their higher aspects. And they allow themselves to be used and controlled. And so the fear mongering is very much part of soul energy harvesting.
I was wondering, in terms of sexual energy, how and if there is any soul harvesting or essence harvesting being attempted or done, and what we can do to prevent that.
Yes, dear one, very much so. Thank you for this question. As humans, the sexual energy is very potent and powerful. It is a very powerful portal in which energy can flow through the human, in which energy can flow to and from the human. And so the sexual portal, it is very important to guard and protect these energies. In other words, share them only with aligned beings, other sexual partners, or if you are alone, to make sure that you are creating a sacred container for these energies to flow into or to flow through. as these energies can be used to heal, activate, and much more. They are very powerful. And so, for example, if you are alone and you are masturbating, to set your intentions for how these energies will be used with orgasm. To be very clear about where those energies go as you release. And to assign a purpose for the masturbation and or the orgasm so that they are used only for the light. If you are with a partner, to create with your partner how these energies will be used, as they can be squandered, so to speak, as they can be simply released, or the two of you can harness these energies to set forth a creation of the light. And this power can be used for creating something in the light realm, or also used for physical manifestations as well. So it is very important that you understand the power of these energies and that you use them to the best of your knowledge and ability. And it would be wise also to do some study to educate yourselves about the power of sexual energy and how it can be used for the light.
As the equinox is coming up on the 20th, and I think a couple of days earlier, the full moon, what is going on there with energies?
Dear ones, the full moon will be another powerful portal for some illumination to come through, specifically for your hearts and your power centers. It will be a time to examine how you use your power, how you use the love that you have to share with others and that you have to give to yourself. How do you use this love that you have? How do you use the power that you have? It will be a time for introspection and reflection about this. The equinox will be a very special alignment and potential turning point in the consciousness of humanity. Humanity's awareness and level of consciousness has been building and accelerating to be oriented more to the understanding of the light and what you might call awakening. And the type of light frequency that will be coming through the equinox portal will activate more of this understanding of the light and what it is and how it works. And it will also be an opportunity for humanity to make some quantum leaps within the light. It is not guaranteed that this will happen, but there will be plenty of energy signatures and codes coming through for humanity to receive if they wish. And so for those of you who like to meditate for the collective energy, this will be a very potent time to harness some of these energy signatures and codes for the collective energy, to ground them into Mother Earth so that these templates and energy signatures and codes remain more available for humanity, that after this portal is closed, that these energies are still available for humanity. So just to make sure that this is understood, what I am saying is that those of you who are using your human vessels to move energy, to integrate energy, to anchor and ground energy, you can harness so much of these awakening codes that will be coming through during the equinox. You can create a sacred container within your physical body, within Mother Earth, for these energies to reside until humanity is ready to receive them. And you can begin the preparations now, dear ones. You do not need to wait until the equinox. Again, using your intention that this is a role you would like to play in service for humanity.
6 months ago, Prime Creator told that there would be a problematic scenario in 1 year, so September 2022. He said, and I wanted, according to this timeline, I wanted to know, is this still a thing we are on, or is this a thing which we have still put away, I think?
This is still very possible, dear one. It is also very possible that this can change as humanity receives more energy and frequency of awakening, I will call it. It truly depends on how humanity responds to what is going on. In other words, humanity can continue to fall under the spells of fear, or they can say, I see what is happening. I will not allow myself to fall into fear any longer. Humanity can commit to truth, and this would change everything. But it truly depends on how humanity responds. This will dictate the timelines, dear one.
And how can this be helped?
As always, dear ones, to continue to work with your own frequency, to cultivate your own soul essence within your beings so that you can be vibrating at the highest frequency possible for as often as possible. Because each frequency contributes to the collective energy. And so the more humans that are working on their frequency and increasing their frequency, the more this will support the collective awakening. So it is simple in concept and more difficult in execution, perhaps, depending on each being. Dear ones, after the equinox portal, the last 9 or 10 days or so in March, there will be a period of recalibration. And it is during these last days in March that it will be especially important to continue your spiritual disciplines, to integrate the frequencies that have come through the equinox portal. And so do what you can to go out into nature, to stay hydrated, to eat healthy foods for your body. Do what you can to maintain the highest frequency possible. This will be a time to perhaps pull away from people and spend more time by yourself, depending on your individual needs. But make it a priority to integrate the frequencies, however that looks for you, however that works for you. Make it a priority to anchor and integrate the frequencies from the Equinox portal, as this is a very potent time to be able to continue to make quantum leaps. Even though the portal itself will close, the energies and frequencies will then need a time of integration. And you can make many quantum leaps during this time if you give yourself the time and space to focus on this. Now, for those of you who have full-time jobs and you are very focused on your careers or being a parent or things of this nature, it is still important that you take as much time as possible to remain focused on integrating. I thank you, dear ones, for receiving these messages about March. And again, I invite you to always focus on what you are creating, focus on cultivating your essence, and to simply have the awareness about what is going on from the shadow realms without giving it power. Focusing on amplifying your own soul essence within your being takes power away from those shadow forces. So there is no need to do battle or go into warrior mode to combat these shadow forces. Rather, use your energy and focus and time to cultivate your own essence, as this will give strength to yourself and to the collective frequency.
Could Prime Creator comment on the trucker convoy in Canada here that is going on? There were quite a few changes over the weekend too here.
There are many layers and energies to this experience, but I will distill it down into its essence. That when the people come together in this way, with the intentions of reclaiming their freedoms, this is a move in a positive direction, dear ones. And despite all of the opposition or games that are being played by government and banks, when people come together with their intentions to reclaim their sovereignty and freedom, this is where the power is, dear ones. The power is in the hands of the people. The power is in humanity, not the government structures, not the banking institutions. They do not have the power. They present a picture to you that they have the power, but this is not where the power is. Remember this, dear ones. The power is in your hands, not the matrix systems. The power is with the people, and each human contributes to this.
There's something going on that the truckers left because they were threatened, the trucks were impounded. The police even beat up some people. But the question is here now, what I looked at the live replay, live play there were some kind of soldiers or police guys in a plain green uniform, no markings, whether there are certain part of the army on it, the shoulder straps had just plain white covered up there. On the helmets, they had a number on it. Where are those people from? Are those from Canada or different country, or what was going on there?
These beings are mostly serving the light. They are there to keep peace and order. From time to time, some of them will go on a power trip, so to speak, and misuse and misrepresent the reason they are there. But for the most part, they are there to keep peace and to protect the people. They are not there to serve the matrix systems. They are mostly heart-centered. They are from both the US and Canada. A special division of the military, but not the military industrial complex, the military that is truly there to serve the people. Again, I thank you, dear ones, for receiving these transmissions. And I invite you to continue to practice staying grounded, staying centered and balanced, and to focus on what you are creating in the light. Well, that was a bit intense, and that was a bit a lot. And I just want to reflect on something that Prime Creator said in speaking about the parasitic energies. I've been doing a lot of work with that personally and with clients. So if that's something you want assistance with, you can book a personal session. You can go to susiebyler.com/channeling. It's a lot of information to bring through in a channeled message, although that may be something that I will consider doing, because there's a lot that Prime Creator can teach us about that. But I have a lot of experience with that as well. So if you want personal assistance, whether you've had the shots or you're just dealing with energies that are not yours, that you don't want in your field anymore, that's something I can help with. So thank you again for being part of this journey and listening to Prime Creator's thoughts and messages. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next video.